What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about the 2011 again. Now we just did a kind of a negative 2011 video a little bit ago, and I wanted to bring into light some of the very positive features of a 2011 and the reason why the 2011 still, honestly after 100 years, the 1911-2011 platform is still used as the predominant pistol in competition today and is getting a resurgence in the tactical community, believe it or not. The pistol that just can't be killed, it seems like, and I'm about to tell you why. So the first thing and the main thing, obviously, is going to be that it is the most accurate pistol available. Not just mechanically accurate, but user interface. It is the most accurate pistol on the market today. The reason why? Trigger. We're going to be going back to that a lot, but the 1911-2011 is a single action design with a three-piece system: the slide, the frame, and the receiver. This is actually a Staccato XC. It's Staccato's flagship model. The reason why I'm using this as an example is because I just won a bullseye competition with it a few days ago. What an unbelievable piece of machinery this thing is, and the main pro of that is going to be that guy right there. It has about a 2-pound single action only trigger, which means that you have to have the hammer manually cocked back, and when you depress the grip safety and defeat the manual safety, when you pull the trigger, that very, very light trigger goes off. The slide cycles, pushes the hammer back, and you have a very short and light reset. Trigger control is the hardest thing for pistol marksmanship, for sure. Mastering the trigger is a real technique, and the 2011 allows you to essentially cheat that a little bit by having a 2-pound trigger with a very, very small overall trigger travel and a very short overall reset. Now add that trigger with great ergonomics, a phenomenal bull barrel, which generally comes in 2011s. If not, it's sure a match barrel. Add hand fitting, which almost all 2011s, except for maybe the Springfield Prodigy, are hand fitted out of the factory. You're gonna have an unbelievably mechanically accurate system. Now add a red dot onto that, and you are going to have a very usable system that you can accurately hit with far beyond what you think you can. I mean, take my wife for example. My wife can shoot a SS or SCCY and not hit a target at 10 yards. You got one?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you're scared them though.
This sucks.
And she could take one of these and she can hit a target at 75 yards. There it is. Okay, that slow down a little bit. Focus on your trigger pull. There it is. Slow and steady. There you go. There you go. I think the old adage, you can't buy performance, you have to practice, but sadly, you really can buy a bit of performance, especially if you get a 2011. It's also super, super fast because of that. So along with that light trigger pull, you're gonna have a very, very short reset. And the shorter the reset, big surprise here, the faster you can reset the trigger for your next shot. The shorter the travel, the quicker you can get there, no matter how fast you are. If you're Jerry Michalek or if you're just me, it's still faster to have a shorter trigger. And the nice thing about a 2011 is all the travel is there during dry fire as well. So you can practice that trigger pull without having to really do all that much. So it's very fast for that. Other reasons why it's fast is because it generally comes with a steel frame, and it's relatively heavy, so it decreases that recoil a lot as well, along with the recoil and hammer spring, which we'll get to here in a little bit. Next thing is that it has the classic 1911 looks, as you can see there. You just get an added capacity. So you can get America's gun, 2 World Wars. But you can get it with a 21, 27, or even 30 round capacity if you so choose. Very impressive. You have all the same awesome 1911 controls as you would on the standard 1911 that people have been accustomed to in the United States for over 100 years, and you get to have them again in a higher capacity system that is usually hand fitted and usually a bit higher quality than some of the standard 1911s. Overall, 2011s are generally produced usually by higher end companies, and you get a higher product because of that. Another thing I like a lot about the 2011 series is going to be, by comparison to striker fired guns, they do have very low recoil. Now we mentioned that it is a faster trigger, but the low recoil impulse isn't just due to that. It's due to the mixture of the hand fitment with the slide to the frame. It's a mixture of the recoil spring being perfectly weighted and timed, and also a mixture of the hammer spring helping out a little bit with the slide going back and forth. All those systems in conjunction with one another, plus that awesome 1911 ergonomics where you can ride up on the safety and really press down the gun, you can get some unbelievably fast split times and very, very low recoil with one of these. Go up a notch and get one of those Staccato XC, where you have a very lightened slide, very low reciprocating mass, very low recoil spring, and then you have a heavy comp on the front, and you'll get literally no recoil at all. Another thing I like about them a lot is that they're hand fitted. Now, it does add to some reliability and some accuracy, but the main thing I feel like you get is just fit and finish. Like when you look at them, they fit great, they slide like grease shit on ice. The coatings are always amazing. For the most part, they're generally DLC coated because of the price range that they're in, especially if you get into a Staccato or an Atlas Gunworks or maybe a Hayes Custom or something really good. You're gonna get a lot of hand fitted, very tight tolerances, and basically what that does is just create confidence in the shooter that they can operate the slide easily, they won't have any malfunctions, and on top of that, again, that incredible accuracy that you get from being hand fitted. that was a 6-inch plate in the sun at about 90, 100 yards. I think that because of all the things I said before, they're the easiest 9mm for a newbie to start on. Now, they're incredibly fast, they're incredibly accurate, they give you a lot of confidence as a shooter, but on top of that, they do have 2 manual safeties. So the first manual safety is going to be the manual safety right there on the frame that you have to swipe down with your thumb, and the second one is going to be the grip safety generally. And that, at least for me in my experience, has led to newer shooters being more likely to shoot the gun. When you put a Glock next to a 1911, people know the 1911, at least from where I'm from, the Midwest, and they just like the idea of having a manual safety, and as long as you build it in your battery of arms, it is not a con. I don't care what tactical guy you're listening to, 1911s have been around a long time. They're very, very usable as long as you build the controls into your battery of arms, and if you do so, you can have a very safe gun, and if you like a manual safety, it's a great gun for that reason. Now, because they have a very light recoil spring by comparison to many other guns, especially something like the Staccato XC, for example, the gun is so easy to rack. That's one of the issues I hear about with a lot of people. My hands hurt, or I'm a smaller statured person, I just don't have the ability to rack around into the chamber. And a lot of people have been going with the 2011 if you can afford it for that, because it's so light you can grab it with just 2 fingers and you can rack around into the chamber. Newer shooters on a 2011 cannot be underestimated. I recently saw a lot of new shooters shooting at a class with a 2011 and doing much better than some experienced shooters were with their standard striker fired guns. It just exudes confidence, and that's one of the reasons why I made this video. Next thing is, now in modern day, unlike the 1911, a lot of 2011s are made with a polymer grip. Now the advantage of that is that you can get them stippled if you want, you can get them silicone carbided if you want, but the main thing is it actually adds a little polymer flex to reduce a little bit of recoil, and the best thing, in my opinion, is going to be the weight reduction. Something like maybe a Staccato C2 or something like that, you can get all the advantages, all the pros of a 2011 platform, but because it has a polymer grip, you can actually get it for around 27 ounces, which is the same weight-ish as a Glock 19, so you get all the pros and none of the cons because we can now add the polymer grip to the 2011s. And finally, because they are generally higher quality guns like Staccato and like Springfield and like Hayes and Atlas, you're going to get a level of quality control that you're generally not going to get with some of the cheaper guns. It just is what it is. When guns are hand fitted, they're generally tested from the factory for accuracy, they're test fired, and they're usually ran quite a few times. The slides are worn in, and you usually don't have any break-in period, and you also don't have any issues with quality control overall, just simply because 2011s are generally made from American companies that are high-end to begin with. That being said, there's a lot of cons to the 2011, but I think those are the reasons that people really get into them. Overall, they're just easy to use. The ergonomics are amazing. They're fast, they're accurate, they have the best trigger, they have some of the best match barrels on the market. They're made by some of the best companies, and on top of that, they look fucking awesome. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please stop by our local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later. All right, we are exactly 75 yards away, which is the furthest you've ever shot a handgun, but you're doing real well.
We'll see.
No,
I'm just trying to have a little fun.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna load the gun, and when we do load the gun, we're gonna bring the red dot up, and we're gonna put it right between his shoulder blades, kind of focus on his neck area, and relax, and just squeeze that trigger really slow while keeping the red dot on the target. Don't worry about the sway, get to the sway. There it is. Okay, that slow down a little bit. Focus on your trigger pull. There it is. Slow and steady. There you go. There you go. That wasn't bad. That was really, really good. Is that right? Is that like the...
Don't not believe in Mrs. Outlaw.
I believe in Atlas Gunworks.
Fair enough.